Unified School District, regular meeting of the Board of Education. Today is Tuesday, July 11th, 2023. I would now like to call the meeting to order. May we get a roll call, please?
Board Member Durrell. Board Member Irvin.
Here.
Board Member Cornett.
Here.
Clerk Espericueta.
Here.
And Board President Girardi.
Here. Thank you very much. Would you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by our board member, Karen Cornett.
Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Next, we'll have a reading of our mission statement by our interim superintendent, Dr. Signoret.
Thank you. All members of Palm Springs Unified School District are united in our commitment to equity. We create deep, meaningful learning opportunities, build professionalism, and engage parents and community to ensure success for all students. All students graduate with the skills, capacities, and confidence needed to succeed in a rapidly changing world.
Thank you very much, Dr. Signoret. Item 7 is report of closed session actions. Board Clerk Espericueta, do we have anything to report this evening?
President Girardi, yes. In closed session, the board retained and directed legal counsel to initiate and or intervene in illegal action, social media litigation by unanimous vote. The actions the defendant and the other particular charge one formally commenced that be disclosed to any person open inquiry, unless to do so would jeopardize the district's ability to effectuate the services at process on one or more underserved parties, or that to do so would jeopardize the district's ability to conclude existing settlement negotiation to its advantage. The member voted as follows: John Girardi, President Girardi, yes. Myself, Sergio Espericueta, yes. Karen Cornett, yes. Charlie Erwin, yes. And Board Member Madonna, yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Sergio. Item 8 is approval of the agenda. Unless anybody would like to make a modification, can we get a motion to approve the agenda?
Move for approval?
We have a motion. How about a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
That motion passes. Thanks a lot. Item 9 is a presentation of Transportation Service Areas 2023 and 2024, OE 8.10. Our new Assistant Superintendent for Business Services, Mr. Jeff Simmons, will be introducing this.
Good evening, everyone. This is Abdul. He's our coordinator of transportation services. He's going to be giving us a presentation on for you to approve the new routes and the maps that we are going to be using this next year.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good evening, President Girardi, board members. My name is Abdul Buzrud, and I'm the coordinator of transportation. And I'm here to provide the 2023-2024 transportation service areas. I will start by giving you an overview of our transportation services during the 2022-2023 school year. I will be providing you with staffing and technology use updates. I will be reiterating the process of creating of the transportation service areas, and I will conclude with a discussion of the proposed service expansions. Here's some transportation service data which pertains to the 2022-2023 school year. as we ran a total of 79 home-to-school routes, broken down into 26 general education and 53 special education routes. A total of 4,221 students were approved for home-to-school transportation. We were servicing 24 schools within the district, 4 out of the district county special education schools, and Palm Springs Community School. We were also working closely with our student support services to provide transportation for our homeless and foster students who qualify under the McKinney-Vento Act, and provide transportation to families experiencing hardships. We started this year assisting the city of Desert Hot Springs by transporting students from Bella Vista and Bubbling Wells Elementary School to their recreation center, and that using 2 of our existing routes. We have covered a total of 682 field trips, 674 athletic trips, and 530 community-based instruction trips. Lastly, we continued supporting our Palm Springs and Cathedral City Boys and Girls Club by transporting students from Cahuilla, Catherine Finchie, Rio Vista Elementary Schools, and Raymond Cree and James Workman Middle Schools. So here's the staffing update for the local depot for student. We ended the year with a total of 65 drivers who were assigned to a route. We have 4 standby drivers and 8 white fleet drivers. That gives us a total of 77 local drivers. As you can see, we are still 9 drivers short to be fully staffed, and the total or the number of drivers needed per contract is 86 drivers. Even though it looks slightly better compared to August of 2022, but we are still working on hiring more drivers, as we have 9 drivers currently in training in between the behind the wheel and the classroom training. As you may know, Palm Springs Unified School District chose to use First View, as I have discussed last year during our presentation. First View is a tracking or bus tracking and parent communication platform. First View consists of 2 different softwares, Parent View and District View. So District View has been in use throughout the past school year by or exclusively by our staff, which helps them track the buses to minimize the amount of calls that are made every day to the dispatchers, so they can allow them to respond to parents' calls. Now, this year, starting on September 4th of 2023, our parents will have access to the Parent View app, which is an app available on their phone, which they can use to track their kids' buses, get instant district notification or notifications from the bus company. They can view tracking status. They can create a geofence around their house or the bus stop. This way, the parents are instantly notified if the bus goes inside the geofence that was set up by the parent. And also the app has its parent support team in case there is any technical issue encountered by our parents. So that will be launched on September 4th of 2023. In addition to Parent View, our contractor transitioned to the use of a tablet-based software that it's called Driver's Hub or Driver Hub. As you can see, it has multiple features. It helps the drivers log in first, so it is distant to accompany the drivers throughout all the stages of their working day. So they can start by logging into the app, and then this way we make sure that the right driver is assigned to the right route and bus. Second, we see that all the maintenance work orders are being digitized, so if there is an issue, it'll be reported right away to the maintenance department. And also, it gives drivers instructions on how to perform a pre- and post-trip inspection. Third, you see that it has a preloaded schedules, routes, and stops that would help our drivers learn quickly their assignment when the school year starts. Fourth is it allows a same-day route edits, which is very important from a dispatching point of view, which at multiple occasions when we have call-offs or absences, we end up splitting routes or covering routes, and then all those edits will be made by the dispatcher and made available to the drivers instantly. In case we have a new driver, they can take over that extra assignment. Also, that tablet has a GPS, which is providing a turn-by-turn navigation, which turns into or switches to voice assistance once the bus is in motion, so our drivers can keep their eyes on the road. We have a transportation service areas process here, and Administrative Regulation 3541 is the AR that is organizing the process, if you want. We start by a conception of the maps showing all the unduplicated students or unduplicated pupils in our map, and we work closely with our information technology department along with our web developer to come up with those maps. Then comes the process of selecting the areas which are high in student density and or are the farthest from the school, where the school areas. And after that, and this is just to summarize, after that, the transportation zones are provided to the Board of Education for approval. And ultimately, the number of actual routes is a function of the available buses and bus drivers. And it is important to note that the transportation service areas for other schools remain unchanged from the last school year, except for Cathedral City Elementary and for Bubbling Wells. So as you can see here, this is the transportation service area for Cathedral City Elementary School. The highlighted zone is the proposed expansion that is north of the school. So that area would run east of Day Palm all the way to Plumley Road and south of Dinosaur Drive to Victoria Drive. So we needed to add a stop so we can pick up the newly qualified students in that area, and the stop will be located in Victoria Drive and Vaquero Road. The stop is 1.1 mile away from the school, and we are hoping we can transport more unduplicated pupils from that area. Next is the transportation service area for Bubbling Wells. As you can see, that highlighted area is west of the school, and that would be east of Palm Drive all the way to Avenida Descanso, and south of Camino Aventura to Camino Edilio. Now, for this area, there's no need to create a stop because we already have an existing stop that is strategically located in the corner of Camino Edilio and Avenida Descanso, and it would work perfectly fine to transport those newly added students. So if the Board of Education chooses to approve the transportation area, we'll be providing transportation to 30 more students for Bubbling Wells and 64 students for Cathedral City Elementary. That represents an increase of 25% of the existing ridership for Bubbling Wells and 29% for Cathedral City Elementary. Now, again, just to remind everyone that no routes will be added in the process, as we're always looking at maximizing the use of our existing routes, as we don't know yet how many special ed routes we're going to end up with, as we are currently working on those.
Yep. Could we look at that Bubbling Wells map?
Sure.
I'm just curious, it looks like there's a little service area below 25th Street there, just maybe 4 or 5 blocks. How come they're not in the transportation area?
Meaning the yellow zone that's below the
Yeah.
area where we transport?
Yeah, right below Varner there?
Yeah, when you run the map of the students or the unduplicated pupils, you hardly see any students in that area. So we don't have any students there because we always prioritize that area.
Okay, so there's no students there?
No,
Okay.
no students at all.
Okay, thank you.
So therefore, Transportation Services recommends to the Board of Education the approval of the 2023-2024 transportation service areas as presented. And I will turn it back to you, President Girardi, for any questions you may or the board members may have.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions or comments? Sergio?
Yes, and I have 2 questions. I'm seeing in the slide 3, when you explain the amount and the student that is transported every day, I figure out around 4,300. Majority of those students are transporting to mirror school, to mirror school, like to Yen Walmart, to
I'm sorry.
the majority of those students are transporting to mirror school.
Oh, no, those are
The big amount, the student, or
meaning
because
the,
I see the big bags transporting the student like from Dream Home to Yen Walmart, for example, because it's a 4,000 student or 4,300.
yes,
I see the small amount is special education,
yes.
and the other big amount, the more of 4,000 is
That is the general education students.
general education.
Those students are the ones residing within the existing transportation zones.
And when is the school district have contact with the police department, for example, to increase the safety of the student when they board or when they drop in the afternoon? We have support from the police departments or the cities.
We keep contact with CHP and sheriff in case there is anything that's reported by either a parent, a driver, or anyone in the community, and then we make sure to report that right away. Also, what we're doing to increase the safety of our students, we have been working with the county traffic division to create bus stop signs that would help slow down the traffic. And actually, as a matter of fact, we have a meeting with them tomorrow morning, so they can tell us which are the stops where we can actually have a sign there or not, because they're eventually the ones who are going to give us the okay to create a stop sign or not.
And one more question.
Sure.
Thank you. When you create or the school district create the service area or increase the boundary for the service area, who is involved in the process? Principals, parents, or yet?
That's a great question. So throughout the year, we collect inputs from parents, principals, like I said, anyone in the community. Also, what we're going to be doing is starting this school year, we're going to have a year-round survey that's going to be posted on the transportation page, where anyone can just put in their input where they think that we need to provide transportation, if there is any areas that we are overlooking. And this is what we work with. So we take all those that feedback in consideration when creating or expanding a new area.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Sergio. Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, I just have a question too, about the app that you have available. How are you guys marketing that to get it to our parents so they can know that that's available?
So what we have is a welcome back to school packet that we normally send to the parents. So that welcome back packet normally has the bus stop information, time and location, and the bus code of conduct that we want the parents to know about and review with their kids. And this year, we're going to be adding those flyers were provided by First Student, who would explain to the parents how they can sign up for the app and how they can track their buses, how they can sign up for those periodic trainings or that the app is having. Actually, they're having them twice a month. So in case they want to be part of those sessions, they can sign up for free, and they can just ask any questions they may have.
Okay. Is there any way that maybe possibly you can add text messaging as well as the social media accounts?
So in the app in itself, you can receive instant messaging throughout the app.
No, I mean about getting out the knowledge of the app, the existing of the app.
Sure, this is something that we can look into, for sure.
Please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation, and I'm interested in the numbers on slide 3. How many of our students use the Sun Bus, and are the students going to have access to riding the bus without a cost? Has anything been developed for this upcoming school year?
So when it comes to Sunbus, that goes through our student support services. So they are the ones who would periodically order those bus passes and provide them to the students in need.
Mm-hmm. And then the other question is, as I see the fleet out and about in the morning and the afternoons, evenings, do we have any of the equipment that's electric now? Are we moving towards changing the fleet over?
So currently we are applying, or First Student are applying on our behalf to get some grants through the EPA program. So if we were amongst the chosen on that program, so that means a renewal, or that we're going to replace 10 of our vans with electric vans. And First Student, they are working on that. They have some challenges in their yard, so we can benefit from that as well. But overall, our fleet here, or I can see that the oldest vehicle is, I think, 2018. That's the oldest vehicle we have, and we don't have any diesel here. It's all gasoline, natural gas, or propane.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, next up is public comments. Pardon me. I don't have any speaker cards in front of me, so let me ask our board clerk, Sergio Espericueta, have we received any email comments?
President Girardi, we have not received any electronic comments.
Thank you very much. As I said, I don't have any speaker cards in front of me, so we'll move on to the public hearing. Item 11A is a public hearing regarding the initial proposal for successor agreement from California Teamsters Local 911, Teams 1 and Teams 2 to PSUSD. The board now opens the public hearing on that initial proposal for successor agreement. Have any comments been received by the district as to Teams 1 and Teams 2 initial proposal to the Palm Springs Unified School District? Mr. Espericueta, have we received any comments regarding the public hearing?
Let me see. I don't think so. No, we have not received any electronic comments.
Thank you. Is there anyone present who wishes to provide oral comments as to the Teams 1 and Teams 2 initial proposal to Palm Springs Unified School District? Seeing no oral comments, I will now declare the public hearing closed. Item 12 is board member comments. Does anybody have anything they'd like to share this evening?
I do. President Girardi,
Yes,
I have a few comments.
please.
All right. This summer, I have been here in the Valley and consistently seeing our summer program, hearing from parents how wonderful it's been for our kids to go on field trips, have really exciting lessons, be able to do positive activities, cooking, and art and music. Each of the families that I spoke with, they went home with vegetable boxes filled with vegetables. We did have the Camp Broadway show with MTU, lots of special events, the Mean Girls production. We had two teachers, Georgia Tolahi and Jessica Pack. They both presented at the National Philadelphia ISTE Conference, and they mentioned one of our students from James Workman and his film. They showed it, and so we also had the movie making featuring Milo there. And additionally, we had Eddie Revere there with SD and the esports presentation and Google Innovators. And then he and his wife both joined the Latino Affinity Group with SD. So Palm Springs Unified has really reached out further than the Valley in this last month, even though a lot of the schools are quiet, but there's still a lot of activities going on. We've had podcasts, we had Raymond Cree and other schools visit Aziz Farms, and I am so excited to see that tomorrow is the last day for some students who are still in summer school for extended school year, that their last day is tomorrow. So if we think that the district is just a bit quiet, it's maybe slowed down a little. But to hear parents come back and say their kids were having a great time with Think Together, and they're so happy that they could have help with the kids and not having to pay for daycare. So I hope that we get to come back again and offer parents options so that kids don't have to be latchkey by themselves at home, or they can be enriched like you've done this summer. So thank you to all of the leaders who worked on keeping our kids safe and engaged. And that's it.
Thank you. Anybody else?
You wait. Oh, yeah, I'll go, John. I just want to say I've actually enjoyed the little bit of downtime that we've had. And I just want to say something really quick. I just wanted, I didn't get a chance to tell Mike thank you for his service. I wasn't here at the last meeting, so I just want to tell our ex-superintendent, Mike, if you're watching, thank you for your service, and thank you for the things that you've done for the district, and I wish you the best of luck. And I just want to say welcome to our interim, Tony, and good luck.
All right. That was ominous.
Okay, Tony, good luck, Dr. Singer. No, welcome. We're glad to have you, and thank you for accepting the interim position. Also, I just want to say that we had a great, the board did with Nicole Anderson. She's came and gave us our first of, we hope, several in-services on equity and learning how to be a good board member and a good governance team through the lens of equity. So I appreciate whoever actually arranged that. No, it was really good. So I appreciate it. And also to say hello to Lasagna Pitts for accepting the position of the interim HR position. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Sergio?
Want to say, Dr. Singorel, welcome to the first meeting. Welcome the cabinet too. We have lasagna and one more. In the first meeting, and the new school year cycle is very close, like 1 month, and we are ready to start it. Thank you.
Thank you. One thing, I got a call from a parent about our phone messaging system, and the way it was explained to me is they've got a number in for emergency use only, and they keep getting calls for other frivolous, what they consider frivolous messaging. So maybe if we could look into how that is being used, I'd appreciate that. And I also want to, just to piggyback on what Madonna was saying, tomorrow is summer school graduation, so congratulations to all those students who didn't quite make it at the end of the regular year, but they're going to graduate tomorrow. What a great accomplishment for them. And I also want to welcome Mr. Jeff Simmons, our new Assistant Superintendent of Business Services. This is his first meeting. And I want to thank Lasagna Pitts and Dr. Signore for stepping up and helping us out in this interim basis. We wish you guys much success, and we really appreciate your willingness to help the district move forward. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Signore.
Thank you, President Jardy. And if I may, I'd like to use the brief time of the superintendent's report just to also express my gratitude. First of all, I want to thank the board, Mr. Espericueta, Mrs. Cornett, Mrs. Jarrell, Mr. Irvin, President Girardi, for allowing me this opportunity to serve the district as interim superintendent. I'm extremely excited and fully committed to support the board, our students, and the entire Palm Springs Unified community. I also want to extend my gratitude to everyone that has expressed their support, whether through the district social media, emails, phone calls, text messages, also Karen Johnson, PSTA, Michael Leon with Teamsters, even elected officials that have reached out. The support has been absolutely overwhelming. I'm humbled and flattered. Thank you so much. I also want to thank our HR and risk management team members that are here today. You are all very special. You're a phenomenal team, and in particular, Martha, your guidance and counsel is priceless. I promise to visit frequently, and yes, I will bring donuts. I promise you that. A toda la comunidad latina que también han expresado su apoyo, muchísimas gracias. Les prometo y les garantizo que los voy a representar con muchísimo orgullo. Y a mi familia que nos están viendo desde México, les mando un abrazo. I'm also excited to continue the outstanding work with our cabinet, who deserve all the recognition for being innovative and dedicated leaders. Levon Smart, Joan Boyko, Laura Musel, Mark Arnold, Lasagna Pitts, Jeff Simmons, and Simone Kovacs. Thank you all for your confidence and support. You're a great team. Of course, I also want to thank Monica Borrego and Erica Barragan for welcoming with open arms to the superintendent's office. Your guidance is greatly appreciated, and I'm going to rely on you a lot. So that's going to happen. That's where the good luck comes in, right? Last but not least, to all my family and friends that are here, thank you so much. You guys mean the world to me. And if I could have my family stand, Juliet, Juju, stand up. Stand up, hija. Solange, Natasha, Daniela, Jordan. They're chasing after little Sebastian right there. Sebastian is new. He's going to be soon adopted to the family. That'll make number 10 right there. And I can't forget my nephew, Noah. Noah, stand up. By the way, they're all Palm Springs Unified students or former students, graduates. And Sebastian will soon be part of Palm Springs Unified in the future. And of course, my beautiful wife, Sylvia. So thank you guys so much for being here. And I know they're being very gracious, but they want me to hurry it up because our bags are packed and they want to go on vacation as soon as we leave the meeting. So just in closing, although the title is interim, please make no mistake, I will be highly involved and fully vested as the board conducts their search to find an outstanding successor for our district. So for those of you that know me, you are very aware that I strongly believe in our district, and I'm very involved in our community. And I promise I will continue to be who I am in this new role: transparent, honest, and fully committed to bringing out the best in everyone so that together we can bring out the best in our students. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
All right. Well, I better talk fast, huh? All right, that brings us to item 14, board action items. 14A is approval of monitoring report, governing policy, operational expectations, communicating with the public. That has to do with OE9. Dr. Signore, would you like to introduce this?
So I'd like to introduce now Mrs. Joan Boyko, our Coordinator of Communications and Community Outreach. She has done a wonderful job of getting out the message to our district in many different formats and media. So Joan, why don't you go ahead and take it away?
Good evening, everyone. The luck comes in because I'm the third person in that office. That's where he's going to really need the luck. Good evening, board members, Dr. Signore and Cabinet. I'm happy to be here to present our annual OE9, Communicating with the Public. I will focus on the evidence of compliance. I've also been warned that that whole group back there I'm standing between them and their vacation. I'm just kidding. I can whip through this really quick, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. But I'm going to hit the highlights, and I'm going to focus on the evidence of compliance. And feel free to stop me at any time. Number one in OE9 is to provide for timely information, appropriate input, and strategic two-way dialogue between the district and the citizens that builds understanding and support for the district efforts. We have a plethora of ways that we do that. Firstly, we're in the entering our 15th year of our Parent Advisory Committee. We will continue that this year. We will likely have either 4 or 5 meetings, and we had 4 meetings last year. Topics included an overview of the district, transportation, LCAP input, Parent Advisory Committee's overview, and family engagement services. 2 are in person, 2 are in Zoom, and what we found is parents seem to like Zoom better. We have better attendance, so we will start first one on Zoom, and then we will see how the parents feel about continuing and in what format. This has been, last year was the 11th year of our board member presentations, and we do plan to continue those this year with the board members presenting to our community organizations. We had 15 meetings last year. One of them was the legislative breakfast that was in person and included Congressman Dr. Raul Ruiz and representatives from county and state offices and all of our city councils, along with law enforcement and water district officials. And our 2023 breakfast is set for October 19th. Our website has email addresses so that stakeholders can provide input, ask questions. I respond to all of those emails for response upon receipt of them. And this year we responded to 1,194 emails, and that was down from 4,883 the previous year. So you might ask, well, why is that? People aren't interested anymore? And the answer is no, quite the opposite. What we did we just finished our first year. We have a chatbot, AI, artificial intelligence chatbot on our main page, and we also have the chatbot on our major department pages. And that is going really well, very well received. And not only does it provide a valuable service for our constituents, but it also helps people like me and whoever I route those emails to. It cuts down tremendously on the numbers that they receive through the email process, rather than the chatbot just finds where the information is on the website for them and just routes them to a link. And then there's also phone numbers that are provided if they need to make a direct call. So from July 1st to 2022 to June 9th of 2023, we had 5,280 engagements. We actually have had the chatbot for 2 years. So it was up 180 from the year before, a total of over 15,000 questions asked, and a 96% success rate. And when I say that, so if somebody asks a question that the chatbot does not recognize, then our guy who's in charge of it, who's wonderful, he responds immediately, puts it on there, so that we just keep adding to the resources that we have, so when people ask questions that aren't there. So it keeps becoming more and more effective. The top 3 categories are in the areas of student engagement, student transfers, and district calendar and events. We have our weekly podcasts. I'm proud to say we've been doing those for about 10 years now. Haven't missed a single show, thanks to the interns that we have from our Digital Arts Technology Academy. Because I do the easy part, I show up and talk, and we're able to do it in the studio at Cathedral City High School. When we can't do it in person, we've now found during COVID that we can just as easily do them on Zoom, which makes it great because the kids just produce it the same way they would in person. We have a weekly radio show as part of the community roundup that is on all of the Alpha Media radio stations. That's also produced by the students. We will have 2 new student interns in August. Our social media presence has increased about 5% on Facebook. Twitter increased by 47 followers, but the biggest increase was Instagram, which was up almost 31%. And that's where the majority of people, other than TikTok, which we'll see about that, are getting their information. I post on all platforms at least 2 or 3 times a day, and I am so happy to share that we will be having a digital media specialist come on board very soon. We'll be interviewing at the end of the month. I cannot wait, and I am excited that our social media will be eons better than it is now. I think I hold my own. I think we can do way, way better. I know it, so I'm very excited about that. Our mobile app launched in 2019 had a total of 341 new downloads. Our mobile app is going to be replaced with Parent Square when, and I'm sure we'll give you a whole presentation on Parent Square at some point soon because we're going to be transitioning to this whole new system, and we won't need the district mobile app. Everything is going to be on Parent Square, all one place. Our superintendent posted a blog each month on topics including diversity, equity, and inclusion, positivity and optimism, LCAP input, areas of improvement needed in the district, and staff and community appreciation. We have all of our parent advisory committees. I will not go through all of them. You have the list. This was the second year for NAPAC and LPAC, and we keep adding, and participation grows, and we try to make sure all our families know about all of the committee LPAC, our PAC meetings when they occur. Our auto dialer is used for 2 attendance calls each day, and it is one's in the morning for a no-show for safety purposes, 1 for daily attendance, and the auto dialer is also used for site-specific information and district level for district-wide information. And some calls are more urgent, like lockdowns. Others are emails or calls regarding activities and notices from family engagement, ed services, student services, or the superintendent's office. We also use Peach Jar as a key method of contacting our parents. We've been using it for several years now. During the 22-23 school years, we had 33,329 subscribers, an average of 1,190 per school. There were a total of 2,300 flyers posted, with a little over 1,000 being internal and the rest being community flyers. We've saved a total of 472 trees, which that's really cool. Plus a whole lot of manpower because it just gets posted. There's no distribution, and it also saves the people who are delivering flyers. Saves them a lot of time and money also because no paper. Our open rate was 48.3%. Number 2 is to prepare quarterly progress reports for the public to share about the district student progress. We published our annual accountability results issue of Your District News. We did it online this year with a focus on all of the ELA math results, graduation and dropout rates, LPAC results, reclassification rate, chronic absenteeism. We did our June issue, which was a salute to our graduates. This we did insert in the Desert Sun and distributed to all the school sites in English and Spanish. What we've replaced most of these with, which were inserted in the desert sun, very, very expensive to produce, and not that great of a bang for the buck, is School News. And this publication we're doing 5 times a year. We pay nothing other than a little bit for the ads we have in here. The person who, or I should say the company that does it, is like a nonprofit, and her love is doing this kind of work. Every school is profiled. The whole publication's in English and Spanish. All of our departments are profiled. It gets put online. We do hard copies delivered to the sites, and we also post it on the website, and we send direct emails to all the parents so that they get it directly. That's kind of the trade. They want to get this out and about. And we don't have to put any of their ads in there. They let us put our own ads, which is really great. So I'm proud of this. I think it's a great addition to what we're doing in terms of communication. And then number 3, ensure that parents are adequately informed about their children's progress. Parents get report cards, parent-teacher conferences at elementary and middle school levels. We've had an increase this past school year at elementary from 83 to 94.6%, and at middle school up to 55, up from 47%. Parent view, I think Karen, you asked about this a few weeks ago. We had a total of 17,410 parents, up from a little under 16,000, accessed their account at least once during the school year, and the system was accessed over 1.6 million times, up from a little over 500,000. And the reason for that is because parents were accessing their students' validation online. And last year was the first year we did that online. So there's more. It's through Parent View. Student View, a total of 12,581 students used it at least once. All students have accounts. It was accessed nearly 4 million times, up from 2.8 million. And the reason for that is because many of our secondary students are using the system for online course requests, in addition to checking their grades and assignments. And finally, Panorama survey we did in February 2023, and the part of the survey that I focus on is the sense of belonging and school connectedness. There's a participation was down a little bit, but 94% provided favorable responses, up from 93%, and that's overall. And you can look at the individual categories; they're all up, except for one remain the same. 96% feeling school staff treats them with respect. And finally, number 4 is appropriately inform affected areas about proposed and current district capital projects. We did not have any small projects during the past school year. For large projects, teachers, parents, and homeowners within 500 feet of the school address received a letter or notification, and paid notifications were made 20 days prior to board approval of large contracts, and public hearings were held for large projects during this time period. You have the whole list of the projects, and I won't go through all of them. I feel we are in compliance on OE9. Thank you, and I'm happy to take any questions you may have.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions or comments? Mr. Oren?
Quick question. Do you have any idea what happened to the family survey to drop so much?
I'm sorry, what?
I said, do you have any idea with the total amount of family surveys why they dropped so much from? Do you have?
No, I mean, we could ask. That comes out of what's the name of that? What's the name of it? Simone. Jim's
Student
department.
Services
Well,
or
yeah.
state and federal, Dr.
Right.
Pfeffer.
I don't know that we know why there was a drop in the survey participation. I mean, do you, Simone? probably.
No, I don't. Dr.
But we
Pfeffer?
can ask. Oh, is Dr. Pfeffer's here? Jim, do you know?
Sorry.
Some of the system pieces have changed, not to dive into too far in details. Prior to COVID, we had much higher rates than we've had post-COVID on the survey results. Part of it too is the way that those are tracked. We no longer have individual completion tracking on those to keep anonymity and a number of different pieces. So we're working with our partner company to develop a couple of different things to help move that forward and continue to promote. Our sites also experiment with different ways to get that engagement up every year. So sometimes that works better than others, but it's certainly something that we're always looking to do.
Okay, thank you.
Question. On page 8, Joan, of 10, it said a total of 2,503 family surveys were completed. How many family surveys could we have for 100%? Total, how many families would that be total? I'm just curious. And in speaking with board members from other places, the parents check out iPads and are able to keep the iPad, complete the survey, and check it back in to the librarian or the technology person on campus. Have we been able to give access to our parents in other ways so that they have internet and a device they could use?
I know that every school communicates with their parents, I mean, in addition to at the district level, about the opportunity to participate in the survey. I know they encourage it, and I would guess, Jim, that every site has access points for parents to get to the technology if they don't have it.
Yes, they do, as Dr. Pfeffer is coming up, but the majority of our school sites always have a section or area in the school, especially when parents enter during that time of the year, when they can access surveys, and of course, any other time, such as in the spring, if they're parent-teacher conference weeks, they do that as well.
Just to piggyback on that, our students have Chromebooks.
Yes.
Can a parent use their student Chromebook to answer their survey on?
Definitely.
Okay, so that would help. Thank you.
Yeah, the only piece that I might add is the survey window is based around two of our student-teacher conference windows. It starts with our middle school conference window, finishes with our elementary conference window to allow for that direct contact as well. We do see higher rates in those particular grade spans on the return. And many of our sites also will set up Chromebooks in the front office so that as folks come to campus, they're able to fill them out that way. But yes, they can also use the student device.
And Dr. Pfeffer, did you know how many families we have in the district?
I don't have that
Not
number
sure.
directly in front of me, but that's
You'll
something we can
send that on to
certainly
us?
look to send to you, yeah.
Because it said 2,503 family surveys. So how many families do we have that would be able to make it completed?
Anything else?
Yeah, just real quick on my comment. Can parents can parents set the parameters on auto dialer? Like, could they say, I just want to be notified for emergencies only?
Well, I don't know. You just told us that there was a parent that said they only wanted to be notified for emergencies, so.
Well, it was his thought he was set up like that. So I'm asking, I don't know if it can be.
Anybody know this?
All right, well,
We'll check on the parameters.
We'll find out. I don't know. I mean, I know how to send out messages. I do it, but I don't know whether when parents sign up, can they sign up for emergency messages
I
only?
wasn't trying to, I just thought maybe you knew, that's all.
I don't, but we'll find out for you, Mr. Girardi. Absolutely.
As a parent, please keep the emails and the text messages coming. I like to know what's going on with my son. So maybe, if they can tailor it, however, that's fine. But the more communication, the better for me as a parent, so I can be able to be involved. It's just me.
Yeah. I have one question, Joan. In the data that say the total 70,410 parents, they say up from 15,771, representing 20,812. This total, the 17,410, is close to the 100% of the parents? Because it's 20,000 students and 17,000 parents. That is almost the 100% of the parents have access to the student.
They do. That's the goal, that every parent has an account. Whether they choose to access it or not is something else, but a lot of them are.
But that is good number, yeah. Thank you.
Anybody else?
I better not. Anybody else? No, we're good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, can we get a motion to approve monitoring report governing policy, operational expectations, communicating with the public, OE9?
Move for approval.
We have a motion. How about a second, please?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, Mrs. Boyko. 14B, approval of salary schedule and fifth addendum to employment agreement of Assistant Superintendent, Human Resources to serve as interim superintendent of schools. The board will now be considering approval of salary schedule 300, interim superintendent, and addendum to employment contract for Donatillo? How do you pronounce it? Donatillo?
Yes, Donatiu, but Tony is fine.
Senior A, Assistant Superintendent, Human Resources, requiring Dr. Senior A to perform duties of interim superintendent of schools effective July 1, 2023. The recommended compensation is summarized as follows. Effective July 1st, 2023, Dr. Senior A's annual base salary shall be $271,729.70 during the time that he serves as interim superintendent of schools. Could we get a motion to pass, or excuse me, could we get a motion to approve item 14B?
I move the motion.
We have a motion. How about a second?
Second.
And a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That motion passes. Item 14C, approval of salary schedule and employment agreement of Executive Director, Human Resources, to serve as interim Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources. The board will now be considering approval of salary schedule 301, Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources, and employment agreement for Lasagna Brummel-Pitts, Director, Classified Human Resources, requiring Ms. Brummel-Pitts to perform duties of interim Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources effective July 1, 2023. The recommended compensation is summarized as follows. Effective July 1st, 2023, Mrs. Brummel-Pitts' monthly salary income shall be $18,321.25 during the time that she serves as interim Assistant Superintendent of Schools. Can I get a motion to approve item 14C?
Move.
We have a motion. How about a second, please?
Second.
And a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Congratulations to both of you. And thank you.
Board President Girardi, excuse me, just a quick correction on Lasagna's title, Executive Director of Human Resources to Interim Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources.
Did I not say that?
I think we might have had it incorrect on the script.
Okay, thank you. 14D, approval of initial proposal for successor agreement from California Teamsters Local 911, Teams 1 and Teams 2, to Palm Springs Unified School District, OE 4.9. Can we get a motion to approve item 14D?
So moved.
How about a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. 14E, approval of the Health and Welfare Benefits MOU between Palm Springs Unified School District and California Teamsters 911, Teams 1 and Teams 2, OE 4.9. May I get a motion to approve item 14E?
I move for approval.
Thank you. We have a motion. Somebody like to second?
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. 14F, approval of the Health and Welfare Benefits MOU between Palm Springs Unified School District and Palm Springs Teacher Association, OE 4.9. Can I get a motion to approve item 14F?
So moved.
We have a motion. How about a second?
Second.
And a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All, that motion passes. 14G, approval of health and welfare benefits cap increase for board members, certificated administrators, classified managers, and management confidential employees, OE 4.9. Can we get a motion to approve that, please?
I move for approval.
We have a motion. How about a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. 14H, approval of transportation service areas for the 2023-2024 school year, OE 8.10. Can we get a motion to approve 14H?
Move for approval?
We have a motion. How about a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. 14I, approval of revised 2023-2024 district calendar, OE 10.9. Could we get a motion to approve item 14I?
I just have a comment about that calendar.
Can we get a motion and a
Oh, I'm
second
sorry.
first?
A motion.
Thank you. Can we get a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you, Madonna.
Oh, thanks. I'm just excited for the new year, for the district employees and everyone that's starting the year this way, because that first week of school can be long. And I think that it's going to be very positive to have this calendar start this way. And I thank you, because I'm really interested in seeing this change. So thank you again.
Thank you. Maybe for the benefit of the public, we can explain what the change was?
Yes, thank you. Well, actually, I'm sorry. I'm just jumping in on that role, but that is our interim assistant superintendent of human resources should be answering that one. So go right ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Interim Superintendent. So the purpose of the change in the calendar was really to reflect the change in the for the middle schools as we moved to the semester system, and it's basically to change the minimum days for the parent conferences.
Great.
So it's just a slight change. The conferences they were going to be in January, the last few days in January, and we changed them to March.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
That motion passes. 14J, approval of facility study session items and future products, OE products, and future projects, OE 12.13. May we get a motion for that, please, to approve that? We have a
Move for
motion now.
approval?
How about a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. That motion passes. 14K, approval of legal services agreement with Franz Law Group for purposes of social media litigation. Can we get a motion to approve 14K?
I move for approval.
Thank you, Sergio. How about a second? Second. Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
That motion passes. 15 is the superintendent's consent item, where we will move items 15A through 15G in one vote, unless somebody would like a particular item pulled. All right, so can I get a motion to approve the superintendent consent items 15A to 15G?
Yes, but I would like F pulled and talked about a little bit.
What item is that?
F.
Item F? Okay, so we will be, can I get a motion to approve superintendent consent items 15A through 15G, except for 15F? We have a motion. How about a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. So 15F is approval of authorization to issue an invitation to bid for the installation of shade structures at 8 elementary schools and installation of new playground equipment at 6 elementary schools for ECE. Can I get a motion and a second?
So moved.
How about a second, please? And a second? Okay, Karen.
Now, I know in Friday that it was explained a little bit about how we go about with the new shade structures and also with the playground equipment. if these shade structures, are they replacements or are they actually new shade structures? And are they permanent or are they the ones that are that kind of cloth stuff?
No, I believe the shade structures are new, and they will be permanent. And then the playground equipment is mostly replacement. But I can find out more detail on that for you.
Can you find out where the 8 elementary schools are?
Sure.
And if they're actually in addition to the shade, well, I can't, the shade structures that are there now? I mean, as much shade as we can provide, obviously. Look at it, it's really hot out.
Well, remember,
it's
this is
great.
for the ECE portion of the elementary campuses, so it's for the preschools. It's not necessarily for the elementary schools themselves,
Well, it says the bid for the installation of shade structures at 8 elementary schools.
for ECE.
And, oh, okay, that's just ECE.
Yeah, they're the ones that got the grant for the
Oh,
playground
okay.
equipment and shade structures.
All right. It wasn't clear to me that the shade structures were for ECE. I thought it was just the playground
Yeah,
equipment.
it's my understanding that every elementary school got, what was it, like a 40 by 60 shade structure 5 years ago or something like that, and along with some extra trees in order to make sure that we
Right.
had plenty of shade. But this is strictly for ECE.
This is strictly for ECE. Okay, that clears it up.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. That motion passes. Item 16 is the board consent item. 16A is approval of meeting minutes from June 7th, 2023. 16B is approval of meeting minutes for June 29th, 2023, the board's special meeting on that day. Can we get a motion to approve those meeting minutes, please? A motion, how about a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. That motion passes. Item 17 is information item. 17A, review of revisions to Administrative Regulation 3541, Transportation Routes and Services 8.1. And 17B is Williams Case Report of Complaints, OE 10. The board has received and reviewed that information. Item 18 is suggestions for future agendas. Does anybody have anything they'd like to propose? All right, seeing none. That takes us to the setting of our next board meeting. The next regular board meeting will be August 8th, 2023 at 6 p.m. And then we'll have a special board meeting on August 2nd, 2023 at 9 a.m. Item 18 is to debrief. Item 19 is to adjourn. Can we get a motion to adjourn? We have a motion. How about a second? And a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, that motion passes. We are adjourned. Have a happy vacation.